Buenas tardes. Good evening, everybody, and we are back with Lights Out League Racing. We're doing a little cheeky pre-season social race as we're gearing up for season 25, which is with us in a couple of weeks. Depending on how England goes, I have a feeling that if we get to the semi-finals, we will be playing on the Wednesday. Which will have to postpone the season by a week, otherwise we'll have less drivers than we do tonight. But very thankful for everybody turning up for the pre-season race. It is an opportunity for the drivers to get a bit of a feel to the track, get back to league racing. We are here at Spain, Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya, and what better way to do some testing than at the official testing track. So it's been a while for me, long day. It's good to be back, and we're going to jump on, I think, it's Mr. Catamese first. This is coming around the last corner. Everyone is in their own selected car. We'll let them choose the car for tonight as we do a hot lap. Open up that DRS down the 1 kilometre straight. It is a long straight down to the first corner off the start finish line, so there'll be plenty of overtaking. Going round on L for turn 1. Want to stay on the inside on both corners, and he loses it. He did say that he was going to lose it today, and he does off the bat. So we'll jump on with Stevie Boy and follow him round as he says hello there to Mr. Catamese. And it goes off a little bit just inside of turn 3. What you want to do is go on the inside, then on the outside, but he's invalidated. So we will jump on with the Mercedes of Lupa, who's managed to keep it on the track coming round turn 4 of Red Bull. And do you want it inside and go as the apex, go on the outside cover on the curb, follow the corner around as you're going downhill, stay off the curves as much as possible, especially on the exit, unlike that car there. As we're going back uphill, and it's flat out round turn 8, opening up that DRS, and there's an overtaking opportunity here, and it's one of the big changes that's happened over the last couple of seasons, where it's a nice bit smoother corner. And we want to go outside, inside, outside again, overtaking the car, and this is the big change that came last season. Flat out on turns 13 and 14. Lets off a little bit, but opens up the DRS, and we'll be the first one to set a lap on a 1:13.3. It's the time from him, as Duffman takes over on a 13.0. And currently on provisional pole. Adamako follows through on a 1:12.1, so an early pace setter from Adam. I think we've got a Red Bull coming round. It's Sygate. He's going to cross the line with currently P4, the 1:14.9. I think he's still got a little bit of time to find that. And Ahmed D, the current championship winner, constructors winner, with a 12.4. Giza 12.7. And his fellow teammates for today, Big Raki on 1:27. So again, got plenty of time to find. He is on on the pad tonight, and still got a bit of time, but hasn't been practicing that much, and he's there spinning. He does that a lot, Big Raki. So I'm sure he'll... Oh, someone beached. Who's Catamese? What's going on with Catamese? He's beached. He's a big beach whale. He's got to reset. Oh, I had that happen to me once a couple of games ago, and it does suck. But disqualified me because I couldn't move. And going full throttle in there, Catamese doesn't mind losing his wing. I think everybody's jumping in now. Validation, so we're jumping in the pits. Giza will be jumping as well. Everyone getting some fresh tyres on. want to go out on the softs. I know there's one or two people, especially on the league races, as we're just seeing the Red Bull go past of Dan Morris, who's a little bit behind, but goes up to provisional P5 with a 13.2. Yeah, you do find that some people, they'll do a lap out on intermediates or something just to set a time. And I find it myself of setting a Stevie Boy having a little bit of a moment as well, a special moment. You do, yeah, some drivers go out on intermediates, and I think it's, for me, you go out and set a time, so then you've got a target to hit when you go out for your proper lap on your softs. And I think it's a good tactic, but then I just think there's just no point in going out, really. So we'll jump back on with Luther again. He's going to look to improve on his current time. Currently provisional P7. Okay, this season we've got a bit of a shake-up of drivers. We've got some returning faces and some new ones. Looper, a bit of in and out at the end of last season, but it's good to see him join us again as a full-time driver. All the drivers you see tonight are full-time drivers leading into the new season. It's a mixture of the Euros, family commitments, and work and holidays is forcing people to miss today, but there will be a benefit for the people that do join us today, especially for the ones that finish higher up. And we're looking at people like Adam and Amadi, Katamise, Dan Morris, Keezer, all to set themselves up for going into the season. Of course, the teams haven't been picked, the cars haven't been picked yet, and this race does contribute to that as he makes his way around turns 1 and 2 nice and smooth. And turn 3, such a fun corner, but also real critical one, because you've got to set your up 2.5 tenths in his time. You've got to set your setup to be balanced, to make sure you can go full speed around that corner and keeping your car on the track. Oh, and he loses it and hits the wall. Is that the end? Or has he just lost a wing? Is that him out? He hasn't retired the car, he's lost a wing. Oh, that's what happens if you take too much speed around that corner. But he was going well. Let's go on. Let's check the catch and see what time he's up. So he is up 11.6 seconds, which taking him into the 19s, but he's got plenty of time for the rest of his lap to make up. So maybe middle of the road. He's coming around turn 13. Managed to hold his back end. Almost losing it, but keeps it straight. Across the line is coming P9 with a 13.5, just behind Wayne. And it gives his teammates a little bit of a slipstream as well for today. They were teammates last season, and it's working well again today. If Adam can keep it on track, which he's very, very consistent in doing so, and he's 2 tenths up. So the guy on provisional pole at the moment is looking to increase his time. Dan Morris with a cheeky current P2. I missed that one. Sneaking ahead of Amadi. Coming around turn 6 and 7. Around the flat out turn 8. Open up that DRS. Car moving out of the way again. It's good driving, and it's almost 4 tenths up now. So the track is heating up. It's a hot place to go anyway, but that track's heating up. And he's coming around the final 2 corners, and we're looking into the 111s. And goes for 11.75. That's a fantastic lap from Adam. Definitely the pace setter, and if he keeps up this pace and in the race, He'll be one to watch for going into the new season. Man, that's invalidated. Ooh. Jump on with Wayne. Nice to see Wayne back with us. He's just coming around the final two corners. Keeps it in the lines. Does he improve? He does. Go up to P6, jumping into the 112s with the 112.8. Just behind Giza. Great to see Wayne back with us. Had a bit of one or two frustrations and unfortunately, yes, just had emotions got the better of him. Jump on Big Raki, who's 13.1 seconds up on his time, which should take him 14s into the 13s. Plenty of time to find in this final couple of corners. Keeps it within the white lines and jumps up to P6 with a 12.7. So found plenty of time in those last two corners. Means I think he's already in. We've got McLaren come round, Stevie Boy, and so he's currently P8. He's just 2.5 seconds over his time. Giza jumping above Duffman up to P4. Lucas staying in P19. Amity jumping ahead of Dan Morris up to P2 with a 12.1. Still unable to get into the 111s with Adamako. And Dan just sitting in the just on a lap on median, so maybe just doing a bit of testing. Like I say, this is a pre-season. It is the time to do a bit of testing. Get yourself familiar again with league racing. There is one or two drivers that do league racing in other leagues, but racing actually online lobbies is completely different. Dan starts his lap on the mediums. Won't improve on his time with them. This 4.65 kilometre track, going clockwise track, going around the first of 14 corners. There's 8 to the right and 6 to the left, 2 DRS zones. Both you have a great opportunity to overtake. And we'll keep an eye on Dan just to see if it helps. He's only a 10th down, so showing the difference of the two tyres. Five minutes left of the session. Most drivers will be jumping into the pits now and readying up for that final run. Oh, a little bit of wiggle and he invalidates and spins. He pirouettes. He's auditioning for Swan Lake. Maybe the medium tyres weren't the one to go for. Wasted a set for the race. But maybe his strategy will be different. Jump on Sargate. He's just done a lap and just has increased his time to 14.1, but still a little bit off the pace with the guys that are currently racing. We are missing half the grid, of course, so then Sargate is a great lad and has been quite, it's fair, he's shown some good pace. It just had one or two issues where loss of traction sent him flying off to Narnia and has not finished where his performances have generally shown. So we'll see if he's still on another hot lap. He's just slightly over his time. As it looks like Katami's doing the team play again. Going out to do an early lap. And then allow his teammate to come out and get the slipstream. He's followed by Dan. I think that's going to Dan. He's drifting. He's not Toko drift. It's Barcelona drift. We didn't see that. Katami's comes around the final corner. Can he improve on his time? He jumps up to P7 on a 12.8. Now is this where he's going to slow down now? Trickle around the lap, so he waits for Adam to come out. And to be fair, it probably gives him a couple of tenths, but it's not like he needs the help. But it's always good to see good team players. We'll jump on with Big Rakis. He's starting his lap. So it's a funny track, Spain, because it's not a bad track. Like it's such a good mix of high and low speed corners. But I think just many drivers find like online drivers find it boring. But no, I'm a good fan of it. It's one of my strongest tracks, really. I like to think so. Don't race as often as I used to, but when I do race, I do like this track. It's a very low risk of safety cars as well if you plan your strategy, unless you. It's 2 tenths up on his time, Big Racky, which could get him, if he keeps up this level, could get him potentially up to P3. He's definitely looking at a P4 currently, but could get up to P3. Let's see what happens. Coming around turn 14, keeps it within white lines, puts his foot down, jumps up to P4. So close, but jumps just ahead of Kiza. Big Racky and Kiza are very similar pace drivers. Good jump back on Adam again. He's getting the slipstream off teammates. Oh, looks like it was a little bit late going. No, that's worked out perfectly again. Katamis is the ultimate teammate, I'm telling you. Let's jump back on with Adam as the drivers are doing their final run. Nice smooth turn 3. Coming to the end of sector 1, and he's almost 2 tenths up on his time again. Definitely been putting some practice in, and it shows what practice can do. He's a fast driver anyway, but you look at the difference between him and Amadi, who's on the lap now as well, who was one of his championship contenders. A good 4 tenths, and I don't know how much practice Amadi's done. Just over 1.5, so he's lost a little bit of time in sector 2. He's still up on his time. As he's coming around turn 13, turn 14, using as much of the curb as possible, keep it within the white lines, and he's going to improve on his time with a 1:11.4. Oh my days. So we'll jump on with Looper. He's up on his time as well. Can he move up from P10? He stays P10, but improves on his time with a 1:13.1. We've lost an Aston Martin of Amadi. It looks like Amadi's, I think he's slowing down. No, I think he's span, and that's him over and done with. As we jump on with Kiza. Will he jump above his nemesis? He does, up to potential P3. That's a great lap from Kiza. 1:12.2. And as we jump on with the other Alpine Academies to come in the line, who's invalidated. Duffman in the pits, as we'll see. Dan Morris come round. Can he improve on his time? That's his teammate giving him a slipstream again as well, and gets him up to P2 with a 1:12.1. Just 4 hundredths ahead of Amadi. And that team play there by Sygate, you've got to applaud it again. Gets Dan Morris into that P2, but a class of the field, Adam Mako. He's done a Verstappen, and he's got a good 7 tenths. And you've got to say that looking at this pace, that Adam's got to claim that victory. But anything can happen in a race. Everyone is rusty. Who knows what will happen going down to turn 1? All it takes is one person to miss their braking point or clip a back end, and it can go into absolute carnage. But wow. So as we look at our standings for the race, Adamako, P1 with 111.4. Dan Morris running on the front row. Ahmed D and Kizagis taking up row 2. Big Racky and Duffman on row 3. Great from them. Katamise and Wayne on P7, P8. Rounding off the top 10, Stevie Boy and Looper, and then Cygate holding up the pack. I think he's one of the ones, one of the drivers that will be just getting his blowing the cobwebs off. And it's another sunny day in Spain. If it was raining, we wouldn't be in Spain. To be fair, I think it's been hotter today than it has in Spain. Jeez, it's been warm. Strategy for today. If it was me, I'd go for medium hards. This track is known for a good wide tyre wear though, so it might be that one or two drivers will just do some practice pit stops. Opportunities to just try out some different tyres maybe. As we are back on. And that's 5 lights, and the lights are out, and away we go. And that's a good launch off the line by Dan Morris. Dan's jumped into Adam's slipstream. Ahmadi still in P3. Who's that trying to go on the inside? They're cutting the grass. So everyone's looked like they've managed to stay out of the way. I think it was Wayne. Did well to avoid collision in the inside. Tried to take it, but the apex was cut off. As the Red Bull Cygate looking to take on the inside of Wayne with a great overtake there. No one seems to have lost that much position. The top 3 stay where they are. What happened there with Dan Morris? Did he try and force an overtake that wasn't there? A little bit of wheel banging, and he's on the inside. Oh, Dan. Oh, Dan. I just don't think those passes were available. This is, of course, it's one just to get used to the to racing again. There is no stewards today. We will obviously pick up any disrespectful driving or any unlawful driving as Adamako crosses line first. He hasn't quite got that second yet. As we look at the different tyre strategies, you can see Ahmadi going completely different to everyone else and starting on the hards, and it will benefit him if he can stay with Adam in that slipstream. It'll come back to him in the second stint. We've got Duffman, Wayne and Looper all on softs as Wayne overtaking Katamise with a great overtake going down into turn 4. Managed to get a better line on turn 3. So Wayne, one of the soft drivers, as Dan makes the overtake on his teammates. Let's get clean driving from those pair. And then Looper as well on the soft, so they're all going to look to capitalise and see if they get as far up the grid as possible. Katamise is self-professed, not done any racing at all really, apart from a couple of hours on near launch. Hasn't done anything on since any of the updates, as Adamako has broke that second DRS. But Big Racky up to P3 now. This is great racing from him. He will be in DRS range, so if he can stay with Ahmadi. Kizagis has Duffman right behind. And Big Racky showing some fantastic pace, considering he said that he's not going to be doing very well because he's been on the pad. He's usually a wheel driver. He's absolutely storming it. Absolutely storming it. I know it's early days, we're only on lap 3 and we've got 30 laps to go. And I do touch wood and say that Big Racky tends to lose his back end somewhere. But he is right up the back end. And Ahmadi's hards have not switched on, and he's going to be vulnerable. I cannot remember the time seeing a train behind Ahmadi. Look at that. It's a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 car train behind Ahmadi. Woo! woo! Ric Flair, woo! As Katamise has had a moment. Getting used to the traction control again. He hasn't done anything for a while, so and Amadi, as Duffman goes wide, is going to be vulnerable to his teammates, I think. But that's an overtake from Big Racky and Amadi into turn one. Great overtake. And Kiza Giza is right up behind. There's no damage that I can see on Amadi, so it mostly just these hard tyres just not working for him at all. Stevie Boy has Wayne right up beside, so Wayne, like I said, trying to capitalise on these soft tyres. Pick his moment wisely, don't force it. It looks like Dan's catching up. He's got the pace, he showed that in quali, so he shouldn't be too far behind this train and be able to make some moves. Giza now right up behind. Is he close enough to get hold of Amadi? Not quite. He had a look. Letting him know he's there. Is Stevie Boy on the inside of Duffman. Duffman saw him coming, but it was a great overtake from Stevie. You're not going to battle too hard with your teammate if you know he's got more pace. But they're pushing each other around the corner now. And we're going to see some overtakes down this straight as Dan Morris is drawing the train. Are we going to see Kiza Giza take Amadi? Amadi does have a bit of weaving there. Might have been a bit too much. I think the stewards would look at that if it was reported. Let everyone stay on the track. Wayne is right up behind Duffman. I think he's bunked all his DRS though. His ERS. Duffman using all of the track. Getting a clip on the back there from Wayne. Wayne's just stirring a little bit more pace, but again he's just got to pick his moment. Amadi now 7-8 tenths behind Big Racky. Big Racky's built a gap up between him and Amadi. And Wayne gets penalty, first one of the day for track limits. And points means prizes, so Dan has overtaken Looper, I think, who's lost his way, and he's got really hot tyres. He's going to have to take it slow for a couple of corners. Dan is now catching up with Wayne and making his way back up as Wayne overtakes Duffman. Duffman has gone into the pits. Is that an early pit stop? Or has he got some damage? It is an early pit stop as he's jumping on some hard tyres. Getting himself out of that train. Trying a strategy. If it was me, I probably wouldn't... soft to hards? It depends how long you get the softs out for. I probably wouldn't have started on the softs, but... it's each to their own. Everyone drives differently. Adam now 3.5 seconds ahead of Big Racky, who's... as Amadi's closing slightly on him. That train hasn't moved, but there is a bit of a gap now between Stevie and Dan. As Dan has overtaken Wayne as well. For me, I obviously like winning and being at the front is it has its rewards, but I just love it when you've got a bit of pace and you're chasing cars down. I find it less pressure than obviously the other way around when you're driving and trying to maintain a distance in front and you've got cars chasing you. As Amadi now overtakes Big Racky, utilising the DRS down to turn one. Katamise getting the track limits as well. Tend to find with Katamise when he's not on it, he does get loads of penalties. Amadi back up to P2, but he is pulling on Big Racky, Kiza and Stevie Boy. It's good to see Stevie Boy on the grid. I can't recall him. I think this is his first race with us. If he can absolutely murder me if he wants, if I'm wrong. But Kiza taking a good look at Big Racky. So we lost. It looks like Katamise again. Yeah, Katamise has lost. He's cutting the grass for us. How nice. He's doing it for free as well. Kiza just looking on the inside. Not quite there. They don't want to battle too hard and let Amadi get away, but Keys now showing a bit of faster pace than Big Raki as Amadi can now pull away a bit and concentrate. But is this an opportunity? And Amadi gets the fastest lap of the race on the hard, so definitely put his foot down a bit on the last lap. So no overtakes there. We'll go single file down. And Catherine's now an absolute mare as Wayne's gone into the pits and he's jumping on the hards as well. So we've just got Looper on the softs, so we'll probably see on the next lap. His tyres must be screaming. See how Duffman is getting on those hards. Wayne's come out ahead of him after pitting afterwards. Making up a lot of time, so it probably takes a couple of laps for your hard tyres to switch on. Catching up a couple of seconds, a couple of tenths every corner. So yeah, tyres are definitely heated up a bit more. On back with Adam, just showing that pace. Now just under 4 seconds ahead. Probably be looking at the medium runs as Keys overtakes his teammate for the day, Big Raki, but he is his nemesis. These two are driving. They're basically like the human centipede. You won't see one without the other. As Keys goes a little, Big Raki goes a little wide, but keeps it on the track. I thought he was going to go flying then. So yeah, these two are like the human centipede. You'll always see them side by side on the track. But very clean racing, very respectful racing between the two of them. They must be used to driving with each other now. And Stevie Boy hanging on in the McLaren. With Dan Morris closing up now. He's only 1.5 seconds behind. Big Raki goes through. Geezer, by letting Big Raki through, has also let Stevie Boy through. I don't think he meant to do that. Maybe more tactile when doing the team switch. Don't know if it was team orders, but he's let him through. Oh, Stevie managed to hold his back end coming out of turn 13. But give an opportunity for Keys to take a look as Looper has been overtaken. Wayne taking the wide corner, taking the scenic route. They're staying ahead, and I think Looper's got to pit now. His tyres must be bald. No, he's going round again. Oh, I'd love to know what his tyre wear is. He's going to look at doing an overtake. He's got the speed as he overtakes Wayne going on to turn 1. I think if it's anything like the last lap, it goes a little bit deep on turn 1, which will open up turn 3. For Wayne on the outside. Oh, and I don't know if there was a clip there, I didn't see one, but I think he just lost a bit of traction as we saw Red Bull as well. I think it was Cygate. Oh, and Duffman drove into the back of Cygate and lost some of his wing. Saw bits. I don't know if it caused him any damage, but saw some paint come off. Some carbon fibre. It's not carbon neutral. Amadi has consolidated. Big Raki's got a penalty. He's in contention here for podium, but that won't help unless the guys behind him get one. So Amadi's consolidated. Dan Morris overtaking Keys into turn 1, but Keys looking on the outside of turn 3, following round. Not quite able to overtake again. And Dan just working his way up as Cygate jumps into the pits now. He's having a wing change as well, a little bit of damage, so he's jumping under the hards. There's our mate Katamis. keeping it on. I think he's look at the colour of his car, man. It's dusty. Adam is 4.2 seconds now ahead of Amadi. Just driving his own race. Just getting some consistency going, some rhythm going. There's Kiza. And it looks like Dan's gone off again, whether that was a collision between cars or his own making. Only he'll know, but he's jumping in the pits now. Jumping onto some harders. Big Racky jumps into the pits too. And Stevie Boy. Oh, going to jump onto the hards. They've gone in a little bit earlier than I thought they would do. They'll do 21 laps on these tyres. 22 laps, so we'll kind of get a gauge of when Amadi pits of how long these tyres are going to be good for. So Dan's just getting overtaken as he's coming out of the pits, but like I said, the hunt is on as Lupe finally jumps into the pits and will go onto those hard tyres. It's a little bit of a shake up after the pit stops. Lupe's got on mediums. Is he going for a two-stop? Giza. We'll see how Big Racky can pull that time down on his teammates. It's not a long pit stop, this one. I think it's probably about 17-80 seconds, so making up a little bit of time. But Kiza's going around again. He's going to have better, it might be a little bit of hurt at the moment. But it'll come to him good at the end of the race. And he's actually, I think, playing with another penalty there. I think it just takes a bit, like I said, it takes a bit of time for the hard tyres to warm up, and he's not closing in. So this might be good for Giza for now. Amadou now catching the odd temp here and there. See him slightly in the distance, and Amadi gets a penalty. You don't see Amadi get a penalty that often, so he's pushing the limits. But that Adam will see that, and that'll just relieve some of the pressure of trying to push the corners too much. As Duffman overtaking his teammate Stevie Boy down in turn 4. Round 6 and 7. Turn 8, and he'll be vulnerable to the overtake. And Stevie Boy do it. Will he dive on the inside or follow him round? He won't. He's fantastic driving, not to force it. Still 19 laps to go. It's the old saying that the race isn't won in the first corner. And the 3 of them with Wayne as well. This Duffman now will be vulnerable to the overtake. Is he going to defend that hard? No. Last minute overtake by Stevie. With the 2 drivers. Oh! And a bit of a collision with Wayne. He lost his back end, Duffman, and it's a VSC. Duffman has lost his back end on the outside turn 3, and when he span round, ended up clipping Wayne. I don't know if Wayne's got any damage at all, but that was unfortunate. Duffman was going really, really well, and doing some good battling. And it's his race over, unfortunately. Just a bit of loss of traction, and it's a full safety car. A full safety car. It says BSC, but it's a full safety car. So Adam's jumping in the pits now. All these drivers that haven't pitted yet. He's getting held up in the pits. Doing all softs, are you a madman? So the drivers that hadn't pit yet, that's a blessing to them. So, but Amadi has come out ahead of Adamako. I don't know what held Adamako up. I don't know how Adam Mako up there. Whether it's drivers coming down the pit lane, pitting. But Amadi is now in first place. He has shown better pace though, but he's on a different hardest tyre. We'll have Geezer on P3. Big Racky going around P4. Those pair of, oh no, Geezer's retain that P3. Stevie Boy in P5. Dan come off in P6. And then Wayne and Luca will be the ones licking their lips on the medium tyres. Catanese in P9 on the soft, so he will be literally launching off the start. And Sygate coming round on the hard tyres. Yeah, still says VSC. This game's lying. Always has glitches. You would have thought the coding that they have for previous games, and I'm sure there's some actual tech whizzes that will listen to this and or explain it to me, but if you've got something that works, so let's use this for example, if a safety car comes out, it says safety car. How can they not just transition that to the next game with the same coding? I just don't get it. Like, it's something that's so simple that you have right so many times, and now it's wrong. And I know it doesn't make or break the game, but it ruins the enjoyment. Like, it's something that people pick up like I'm doing now, and it's something for us to moan about. We're Brits, we love to moan. This may be the final lap. Maybe one more. We shall see. I think Catamese is taking a bit of time. He is watching the Euros today. Watching a bit of Portugal. Who've got to be the tournament favourites, haven't they? Yeah, we're going to get the car. The safety car should be in this lap. So who needs that board anyway? I wanted to see that, but no, gone, ruined. Safety car's just coming at the end of sector 2. It might be a little bit late. It might make a late call. As what's happened to Amadi? Has he span off or been hit? Don't know what happened there. But he's down now to P4. As it is another lap for the safety car. Oh, Amadi. What happened there? Which puts Adam back in front, which I'm sure he would have been effing and jeffing about when he'd found out he was in P2, but we can see Soothe. But Amadi surely got to be He's having a bit of a moment there in the back of Geezer. Amadi just going mad with his tyres. The spin wouldn't have helped his tyre temps. So he's got to be favourite. Did he pit a bit early, do you reckon? The safety car would have helped his tyre wear, but we would have been 3 laps on there, and then we've got another 16. Might have a bit of trouble tyre wear near the end of the race. Amadi does drive in a way that he can control his tyre wear well. But 19 laps on mediums. Ooh, it's going to be tight, I think. Tighter than a fat kid's wrist in a tub of Ben and Jerry's. It's got to be in this lap now, surely. Come on, let us know. There we go. I am Mystic Meg. Look at it. Look at that. Look at that. What's it flashing for? Get it sorted. The game's been out nearly a month now. We don't want to see a Pelican crossing, do we? As this looks like it's slowed right down as they concertina around turn 12. Adam's holding that pack up. He's got Keezer right up behind him, but when will Adam go? He's obviously, he's got that kilometre and he's gone. He's put his foot down. Is it enough to break away from Geezer, who's going to be vulnerable from his teammate, who is slightly closing in? Is he going to try and do it on turn 1? Big Racky takes a look and makes the overtake, leaving each other plenty of room. Great drive from them, and Geezer retains P2. But Amdi going up the inside of Big Racky. Big Racky gives him enough space to go round as Wayne overtakes Dan Morris up to P6. Going around turn 4. Great driving on a corner that's so easy to loop. Well, we saw with Duffman that it's so easy to lose your back end, and it's so easy just to go offline and not know where your fellow driver is. Amadi now right up the back of Geezer. Goes quite wide. Looking to essentially do an overtake. He's going to wait for the DRS, I think. Geezer goes really wide. Amadi having a look. Katami's overtakes Looper, going up to P8. Utilising those soft tyres. Amadi slotting back behind Geezer, but will make this overtake down the start-finish straight. As we've lost side gates. As Amadi makes that overtake, and so does Dan Morris back out, overtaking Wayne, going down to turn 1. Katami's overtaking Wayne. Wayne, unfortunately, the one without DRS, and with everyone so close at the start of the race, they've been able to capitalise. Those Katami's up to P7 on those softs. Azamako has broke that 1 second gap, but Amadi will look to close it on the better tyre. But it'll be interesting to see how the tyre wear goes later on in the race. It's not all over, and of course he has the 3 second penalties. It's looking good here at the moment for Geezer. Apart from Dan Morris, the guys behind him have all got penalties. Coming around to start lap 20. Amity sets the fastest lap. And has closed in on Adam. Adam defends as much as he can, but knows that there's plenty more battles to come. He's just got to stick with him. And he's going to push him round his gearbox. It looks like Amadi's flashing, so he's got no ERS. Both drivers. So I think this track is known for gobbling up the ERS. So Adam has. Dan Morris now gets a time penalty, so it is looking good for Geezer, who's been overtaken by Big Racky up to P3. Now these guys are going to want to work together, try and get themselves closer to the front two, as Adamako does overtake Amadi back up to P1, down into turn 9. And has made himself a nice little gap as well, going down to the start-finish straight. Coming around the final corner. I don't know if Amadi's close enough to make the overtake. Tayu is close enough though. Dan Morris is close enough to Stevie Boy. Stevie Boy does have DRS, but Dan Morris going to make a last-minute move. He does. A little bit of clattering, and then Dan goes off into the wall. I think for Dan, he's just making these and he's retired. I hope a safety car doesn't come out for him. I'd like to say for Dan, he's probably got to choose his moments a bit better. He hasn't raced for a while. Just got to pick his moments, and I don't think there was a high chance of collision. But it's unfortunate for him that he's retired from the race. So go back to Adam and Amadi. So Amadi now 3/10 is not close enough to make the overtake now. But we'll look down the start-finish straight to overtake the Alpine. Drivers today, of course, been able to choose whatever car they like for today because of... Oh, I'm going a little wide. Amadi, sorry, getting a little wide. We'll choose the teams and the cars. Geezer overtaking. Big Racky going turn one again. Great overtake from him. And there's two couple of seconds behind, so they're not pulling away too quickly. It's a good battle between these pair again. And Stevie Boy sniffing behind. Katami's now up to P6. Those soft tyres won't get him to the end though, so he will have to pit. And Wayne and Looper all in this train, and then Sygate's just jumping in for a brand new wing again. Yeah, he's in the Red Bull, of course. He's getting plenty of wings. I think what you tend to do is, with the first and second place, what they tend to do is work together to pull away from the pack behind. I don't think these guys need to do it because they do have some decent pace, but they will be toing and froing for the next 11 laps. So Amadi again setting the fastest lap as Adam Marco jumps back into P1, and Big Racky jumps back up to P3. Is Stevie going to look at doing the overtake? Just holds it back there, and that's great driving from great awareness from Keezer and Stevie. I think that was an example of what Dan should have maybe done, just held back a little bit and not force it too much. But hindsight's a wonderful thing, and I think Dan will learn from that going into the season. So we have 10 laps left, and Adam in P1 does have Amadi in P2, but Amadi has that penalty. The Big Racky in P3 has got a couple of penalties. Katami jumps up. Oh, a bit of a squish there from everybody, which has knocked Stevie Boy down a little bit on his hard tyres. Everyone else surrounded on the faster tyre, and they've just squeezed him out. Oh, there's a bit of wide berth there from Wayne. Don't want to do that too often. As Katami's now up to P5. Those soft tyres are not going to last much longer than this. And he's going to be overtaken again, I think. He's pulling up to his geezer. And what Big Racky has actually done is broken the 1 second gap from his teammate. And he's going to look at pulling away and try and break the gap on those penalties. Because at the moment, Keys Geezer looking like a P3 in his current position. Because the cars behind Katami's Wayne and Stevie have all got penalties. So it's looking good for Looper to get a decent finish position. If he can stay with this train, he'll bump up. He could even go up to... I'm saying that, he's just fell out. Oh no, he's back in. So he could even go up to... Oh, it could be close, but he could even get up to P3. Oh, that's an overtake for Stevie on the outside. Turn 9 on Wayne. Wayne's holding on the inside though. But it means that Stevie will have the inside coming into... Oh, and they both lock wheels. Oh no. Oh no. And Stevie's safety car is out. And everyone will be in the pits now. Has anyone passed the pit lane already? The front runners have, and the two Ferraris have, but Katami's has jumped in, and that's looking absolutely fantastic for Catamese. Wayne jumps in the pits as well. I think what happened is they ended up locking wheels and couldn't get them untangled and hit the wall there. That was a bit unfortunate for Stevie that he's ended up retiring and with Wayne losing a couple of positions. But looking great for Catamese. Jumping back onto some more soft tyres. And from out of nowhere, out of nowhere, are the cars in front stuck behind the safety? The cars are stuck behind the safety car. And that's looking absolutely fantastic for Catamese on the fresh soft tyres. As Wayne jumps in the pits. The fact that they had to join straight behind the safety car would be an absolute killer. And let's have a quick look at penalties. He's got 6 seconds, so he needs to get past the cars and ahead and break those 6 seconds. But even Amadi's looking vulnerable to it with his penalties for Keys, Geezer and Looper. Oh, it's gonna be probably another lap on the safety car. But what was that? What did that give us? In the 6-lap shootout? 6-lap sprint? Ooh, it'll help Amadi's and Looper's tyres. A couple extra laps on the safety car, so not having to worry about that. But that is pits for Amadi and Big Racky. Adams decided to stay out for track position with Geezer and Looper. Could that be the wrong move to make of staying out? Used hards for fresh softs. Amadi jumped onto mediums. He probably hasn't got any softs available. Well, that throws a spanner in the works. So we've got currently Adamaco P1 and Geezer P2, Looper P3. Then we've got Catamese P4 on fresh softs, Wayne P5 on fresh mediums, Amadi P6 fresh mediums, Big Racky P7 fresh softs, and Sygate on used softs. He's just coming up to the back now of the safety car train, which means the safety car will be in his lap, which means I can't tell you who's going to win this race. Adam's got the pace, but has he got enough pace in those tyres to keep away from those new tyres behind him? What are we gonna do? Who knows? Nobody knows. Oh, it's flashing. It's in. That must mean what's happening. Adam is going to hold his pack as much as possible. His buddy Geezer right up behind him. I don't think he's going to... They might even be in the same game chat. I don't think he's going to tell him when he's going to go. Well, this is looking great for Catamese. If he can keep it on the track, that is. And they've gone. And Loop is caught napping. They've got to overtake on that start finish. A little bit of wiggle from Wayne. There must have been some bumping. Look at that, it's a 4-car train. As Big Racky goes flying through, keeps it on the track, and that was a great overtake from Big Racky getting up to P5. Catamese has lost a couple of places. I think he was held up by Looper in P3. But Amadi now jumping, racing Looper on the inside. Amadi on the inside, sorry. And just makes that nice clean overtake on Looper. Big Racky doing the following suit as Looper is now off the maiden line. And Wayne's making the jump, and it's just showing the difference between the new and old tyres. Catamese is going to look to overtake the guy that held him up on the race restart. Got caught napping. Katamise goes on the inside. Was there enough room? Katamise cuts the corner too. Oh, Looper loses his traction, taps Katamise. Everyone manages to stay on the track. We've had one or two moments like that as Katamise looks to go again. DRS is now enabled. Armadi overtaking Keys are now up to P2. Adam's got 5 laps and I don't think he can keep Armadi behind on those fresh tyres. He'll be kicking himself with not pitting. But if Armadi overtakes him, he needs to just stay within 3 seconds as long as possible. Katamise makes the overtake on Looper. Getting better traction off the corner on Sygate. Looking to go on the outside. Sygate's not letting that happen though. It's great defending from Sygate. I think he'll be vulnerable from the DRS zone. As Katamise goes so wide, nearly loses back end. Pushing those softs to the limit. But it did mean that he couldn't make that overtake. So we jump back on with Armadi. Big Racky looking at doing an overtake on his teammate as well. He makes that easy overtake going into P1 and turn 1. And Giza holding the inside of turn 1. Keeps on there and keeps track position. The great defending into turn 1 there from Giza. And they have broken the DRS now. So Giza will be vulnerable from the 2 cars behind him, of Big Racky and Wayne. Now Armadi getting another penalty, so he needs to get 6 seconds now. He's ahead. But can he get... He won't get 6 seconds ahead of Adam, so... This race is Adams to lose now. That's unlike Armadi. He must be pushing the limits, or I don't know how much. Like I say, I don't know how much he's been racing previously. But again, it does take that pressure off Adam of not pushing too hard as Armadi gets fastest lap. But at the expense of the race win, as Big Racky makes the overtake on his teammate on the fresher soft tyres. And Wayne is now sniffing the back end of Giza as Sygate makes the overtake on Katamise down into turn 1. Oh, touches the white line and nearly loses it. But keeps all 4 wheels nestled firmly on that track. Wayne pushing Giza around. Giza, of course, no penalties to his name, so this podium is his to lose also as Adam does the overtake. Oh, bit of early braking from Armadi. I don't know what happened there. I don't know if he misjudged his braking at all. But these will be switching to and fro-in as the rest of the race. And Adam gets a penalty. He does not want to see that for the last 3 laps of the race. That'll give Armadi hope that he can make the overtake and try and break the DRS and get pulled 3 seconds. Now he's back up to P1. Giza has, I think Big Racky's had a bit of an issue. Katamise re-overtakes. Bit of battling there from Adam and Armadi. As no. With the cars battling in front, Giza is now in line to win this race. If he gets no penalties and stays as where the cars are currently, Giza is in line to win this race. And I know it's a pre-season, but a race win is a race win. which this would drop. What's Wayne's penalties? Wayne's got 9, so as I say, it could potentially knock Amity out of the podium positions, but no. So we're on the penultimate lap. Adamako in P1, who's got 3-second penalty advantage over Amity, who's just overtaken into P1 in turn 1. We've got Geezer in currently P3, but is looking in line to win this race. Luca just overtaken. Adamako overtaking Amity again. He's getting better traction out of his turn 3, even though he's on the harder tyres. So again, Lupa battling. To in and throw in. Great driving from those pair. Oh, Lupa's lost his back end. And has lost his wing at the wall, I think, as well. With 2 laps to go. Adam pushing hard. Amity opening up the DRS. Has Geezer got DRS? He did. Couldn't really see it that well on the Ferrari. As Wayne is now looking on the outside now. Is he going to do a switchback on the inside? Loses a bit of his wing trying to do the switchback. Geezer has dropped further back. He's only a second now. He needs to stay within this second. As Amity and Adamako back in the battle in, and Wayne overtaken up to P3, but we'll have those penalties. So the gap for Geezer is whittling away. It's 4 tenths, 3 tenths now. He's going to be on the podium no matter what. But the race win is just slipping. He needed to stay within DRS of the drivers in front. It's going to be close. Has he got damage? It's slowing him down slightly. He's going to want a bit of DRS to pull him along. But it's going to be tight. It's going to be tight. As he jumps up to P3, ahead of Wayne. Slightly off the racing line, so I think that'll slow him down. He is above that 3 seconds of Adamako. And we're coming around the final couple of corners. Amity currently in P1, but that won't be there for long. Crosses the line. Adamako P2 jumps up to P1. And Geezer does jump up to the race win. He jumps up to the race win. Adamako P2, Amity P3. Big Raki jumps up to P4 with Wayne's penalties down to P5. Katami's in P6. What could have been for him? And Sargate coming home P7, who jumps up to P6 from Katami's penalties. And then we got Lupa come around the final corner and crossing that start-finish line into P8. But Geezer, with his first win with Lights Out League Racing, what a race. And it shows you keep it clean. Wayne gets driver of the day from the game. I'd congratulate Wayne as well for that. But mine's got to be Geezer. Managed to pull it to the front, keep it consistent. Had some good battling throughout the race. And we're in Spain. We're not drinking champagne. We've got a carafe. We've got a carafe of red wine. Don't get it on your shirts, lads. It'll stain. Don't spray it on your shirts. But congratulations to Geezer for his first win. Let's hope we'll see potentially see 1 or 2 from him. He's shown really good pace throughout last season, and looks like he's improved on this one. Geezer P1. Adamako dropping down to P2, and Amity down to P3. Big Raki, fantastic result for him, up to P4, and for Wayne with his first race back with us, P5. Sygate, great, got up to P6 with those panos. Katami's P7, Lupa P8, and then the DNFs for Stevie, Dan, and Duffman. What a race that was. I'm Alex. This is Lights Out League Racing, and if, like I said before, depending on what happens with the England performances, we might be here with a season beginning race of Miami, season 25, in 2 weeks. If not, we'll be here in 3 weeks. But the drivers will be updated on their on the goings on. So thank you very much for joining us. Great to be back with everybody. I need to sharpen up. I am a little bit tired today. I need to sharpen up on my comms, but good to be back. See everybody later. Peace out.